What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy LTZ, man. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, man. We're gonna react to right now the most wanted drivers in New York. So we're gonna see what's interesting about this video, man. I know they drive a little wild out here in the South, so we're gonna see what the North or East Coast, what they got going on. So it's a Tommy G video. So y'all sit back and relax. Let's check it out.
Okay, easy, Tiger. Easy. Come on. Hey. How many police chases do you think you've been in?
30, I think.
On a scale of 1 to
30
10,
police
how
chases is
wanted would you
crazy.
say you are?
Probably a 10. Nobody's gonna want me.
I wasn't lying when I said these guys are wanted. Hello, folks. I'm Tommy G. I'm here with the most wanted drivers in New York.
Hey, I'm street close.
But do people drive like that in New York though? Like, I feel like it's just a bunch of traffic out there, so I'm assuming they got some skill because you can't just drive in high traffic areas and get around a lot of traffic. It takes them a little bit of skill set, you know what I mean, getting off road a little bit. So we're gonna see, man. But it's kind of wild now that I think about it. Like New York driving, man.
So
I wouldn't want to drive in New York as a regular,
One day in the
you
safety
know.
of my home in Milwaukee, I started to get bombarded by DMs imploring me to explore these two drivers.
So we're gonna
named
see.
Squeeze
I've
Benz
never
and
heard of it.
191. When I looked at their pages, their driving shocked me. I would describe their videos as daring, dangerous, and reckless. I'm fascinated by the
Gotta
human
be
desire
reckless
to
at a
push
minimum.
limits and go against the grain. I'm fascinated by the daredevils and outlaws of the world. Young men in particular love to do this in a variety of ways. Evel Knievel shot himself out of a cannon. Philip Petit tightrope walked across the Twin Towers. Alex Honnold climbed up cliffs without a rope. And fighter Darren Till cut weight until he went blind. The question that comes to mind when you look at this behavior is what compels someone to push themselves to such lengths and risk injury or death. In today's video, we investigate this daredevil behavior in the form of reckless drivers who are causing outrage and fascination across New York.
Police tried to pull over a car on West 38th Street and 7th Avenue. The driver sped off, slamming into cars, driving on the sidewalk, and even hitting a dining shed.
But there's a twist in the story, because these guys don't just risk their own necks in the stunts, they also risk the lives of innocent pedestrians
What
and the
is
law
going
enforcement that
on?
chases them. These guys regularly go on police chases and evade police helicopters. Today, we interview them face to face and talk morality, ethics, danger, and their motivation for their behavior. Let's dive in and go boots on the ground. This documentary is purely
This is
for
interesting.
educational purposes. We want to stress that the behavior depicted in this video is dangerous, illegal, and should never be imitated. And remember, it only takes one bad crash to ruin your life or someone else's. Please drive responsibly. Thank you.
Drive responsibly, ladies and gentlemen.
Wear
Wear your seatbelt.
We wanted to know how everyday people felt about this kind of driving. We had some extra time to kill at the New York airport, so I went around showing people videos of Squeeze Benz and Where's 981 driving. Here's what they had to say about it.
In the
What do you
Beamer.
think of that?
It's just dangerous. I think if the police go after them, it's a bit dangerous. Puts everyone else at risk.
He's probably going
A bit
120,
dangerous.
130 right now. See how there's some close calls?
I feel like he thinks he's in a video game. That stuff pisses me off. Because I got kids that are on those roads too. When that guy hits one of my kids, he'll say, I don't know what happened.
I can
Concerned
tell this guy
parent,
anytime
understandable.
he's gonna kill somebody on the road. He's gonna do it anyways. What do you think about that?
It makes me mad. I get it. All kids, they're bred to do that, right? But it's irresponsible.
If I told you that this guy's got
Shame
money
on
from not only
If
multiple
you got kids, you
police,
wouldn't
but
want your
also
kid to be in this
helicopters.
situation.
What's your reaction on that?
I believe it. I just feel like it's really selfish. I feel like he should get his license taken away for some period
Oh, yeah.
of time.
You're not gonna have no license if you get caught.
Driving classes, maybe talk
It's
to
over
people
with.
who are victims of people
I
that
think it
drive
should be
like him.
commensurate with like attempted manslaughter or something like. I mean,
Yeah.
that's in effect
Yeah.
you're putting people at risk intentionally
Those laws already
when you go a
exist.
certain speed over the speed limit.
If you were his mother or father, what would you tell him?
That he's a selfish idiot. One of these days, somebody is gonna get in his way and that person's gonna end up dead, or many people are gonna end up dead. And if he ends up dead, that's his consequence for what he does, but nobody else deserves to have that kind of risk. It's no different than someone who is really drunk getting behind the wheel of a car and driving when they have no control. I mean, your car is actually like a weapon of mass destruction. It has to be handled with care.
worse than being drunk and getting behind the wheel because you're actively making the choice to put other people's lives at risk.
The steepest price that gets paid is not the person driving the car. I mean, someone's going to end up dying.
It's always the innocent ones.
That
That's true.
can ruin hundreds of people's lives. Like
The
if
message
a
is
kid
right.
in a school were to die, everybody in the school
It's a
would be
ripple
mourning
effect.
for that one person.
Oh yeah, he's tripping. Not safe at all.
If he hits somebody, do you think it should be manslaughter or first degree?
I say manslaughter because you know what you're doing. Like you're just driving crazy. Like
What would you tell him if you could say something to him?
I'd be like, slow down.
What do you think about driving like this?
You tell him to slow down.
Like, you better stay away from him.
Yeah.
What should be the penalty if he's caught? Manslaughter or first degree? That's another debate.
If he hits somebody, you mean if he kills somebody? It's vehicular manslaughter.
This guy
Correct.
has the ability to get away from multiple police vehicles and including helicopters.
Right.
So he hasn't been caught. Yesterday, he got away from a helicopter.
How's he getting away from the helicopters though?
What kind of car is he renting?
Lamborghini.
I could see I was out running the comms. I guess we could hope for him hitting
In a
the telephone.
Lamborghini
Turn yourself
SUV?
in, brother. You're a reckless driver and you're gonna hurt innocent people.
I got folks taking pics, some like paparazzi.
If it's a chase, it's a race.
We're on our way to meet Squeeze Benz. Recently, he's been making the news for his high-speed stunts. While some
Squeeze
people see his
Benz.
driving as exhilarating or exciting,
In a
there's
Beamer,
rising
though.
sentiment that this sort of behavior unnecessarily endangers innocent drivers and pedestrians. He sent us the address of a random parking
Shame.
garage and told us to pull up. This is what we encountered. Folks, we're on the way to talk to one of the most wanted drivers in New York, Squeeze Benz. This kid does stuff that
Squeeze
makes
Benz.
my butthole pucker up. Pause. This guy is reckless. This guy is extreme. This guy drives at a very high speed. I do not drive like this. You shouldn't drive like this. And there's a reason why I'm not getting into their cars while they're driving this fast. It's dangerous. It's reckless. It's scary. Disclaimer, don't do this at home. He's kind of like a high-speed fugitive. I'm always interested in the outlaws of the world. People that live
Adrenaline
on the
boys.
Humans, especially men, are always pushing the limits of danger. But one distinction I want to make is Evel Knievel only harms himself if he fails. The UFC fighters are both signing up. They're in mutual combat. But these guys, if something goes wrong, they harm innocent civilians. So I want to ask him about that, but then ask him about the outlaw, the testing danger, peace that lives strongly within them, because I think that's interesting. This is not a product placement. I do not want a partnership with Celsius. I do not drink your drinks every single trip multiple times a day. I don't absolutely love your drink. Guys, if you want to hit me up, please do. I would love to talk to you. Otherwise, I'll probably hit up Prime, and you know how that goes. So we're pulling up to meet Squeeze Benz.
Prime is not
I'm
an energy
excited,
drink,
and I hope
buddy.
you are too. You know, high speed must be an issue around here if they have a Mustang NYPD car that's got some zip to it. RIP Mainstream Media. It's been a great run. Kudos
How y'all
to
feel
you
about
for
the Mustang
lasting as long as you
NYPD
have.
NYPD
That's it. I mean,
cars?
that's you're finished. It's sorry. In honor
Florida,
of that,
we got the
RIP
Chargers.
Mainstream Media. Sweatshirts available. TommyGMcGee.com. God, dude. What the f- is this Batman, dude? On a scale of 1 to 10, how wanted would you say you are?
Probably a 10. Nobody's more wanted than me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Young Squeeze in the building. Shout out to your clear choice.
Started like about a year ago. I got my first Benz, and I always did like little driving videos, and I never really took it to nothing. And then my boy started saying like, you know, mad people are blowing up off this, and I was just like, you know, that's just how it started.
I'm curious, like, you have a Lamborghini.
So he was swerving around town, high speeds, in the Benz first. That's how he got his name, Squeeze Benz. Then all of a sudden, we assumed that, oh, this is a great idea. Let's just record our crimes. Okay. I'm following it so far.
Mercedes-Benz, I'm sure you go through a lot of different cars. Are you going on tour?
For the clout.
People's cars all crazy. You guys getting your own cars? Like, tell me about that.
I had my own car for a bit, but then I changed it up because I did get chased a lot. Well, I just realized, like, you know, doing long-term rentals is just a way better route. And then obviously I don't tell these guys on the street that.
Did you ever get blown up by the tour people asking what the hell happened?
They do ask, and then like I kind of just like, you know, just driving the car, you know what I mean?
You mix danger, but there's also other people at risk when you do that. Innocent civilians. So what do you think about the element of danger for that?
Right.
I've been doing this since like real shit since I was 9. I used to take my dad's car out and I used to just bug out. And I've been doing this for so long now that I feel like my dad has some professional at it. Like, you know, niggas know like that's how I drive. There's been incidents where I've gone out with people and they try keeping up with me and they've crashed.
How fast do you go?
I mean, there's been a video on blog where I've gone one-handed 210 miles an hour.
Film me
That's
with one
crazy.
hand, driving with the other 210 miles an hour.
He's
That's
wildin'.
insane. Did that scare you?
I don't know about driving since 9, man. Y'all let me know in the comments if that's cap or not.
100%.
Speeding since the age of 9?
Conversation going.
I don't know. So So he turned the Lambo to a
How many people
Hellcat.
normally out compared to like, am I in the high end of
Not in the high end of what?
That's okay. Does your mom worry about you?
I call her. She don't even want to hear the things that I'm doing. She be getting scared because she know I be doing shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Do you know any friends that have gotten really hurt or died doing this?
My boy, he was racing and he macked up and he hit his head and his head like split open a little bit. He needed stitches, but like other than that, nothing's ever happened.
Other than that, nothing's ever happened.
Tell me about the camera system in New York. How hard is it to evade capture or awareness of the police?
Super easy. A lot of people like they be doing crimes with their plates on. Like, I mean, if I go and run from the cops, I'm gonna make sure I either have altered plates or no plates at all.
New York City is home to one of the most advanced camera surveillance networks on
Right.
the planet. An Amnesty International project identified that there
How
are
are they
more than
getting through traffic is my
25,000
main
public and
question
private
with
cameras
this.
at traffic intersections across the city. This camera
Forget
technology
the traffic
can capture
cam, there's
faces
so
and
many
other
people
details
around.
from up to 400 feet away. This infrastructure isn't cheap either. This camera technology, combined with cell phone tracking tools, spyware, and facial recognition, racked up nearly $3 billion in expenditures from the NYPD from 2007 to 2019. As street racers run rampant in the city, it's easy for governments to make the argument to increase the surveillance in order to shut down this reckless and deadly behavior. However, this same technology can also be used to capture the profiles of millions of civilians on a daily basis, something that is currently happening in China and that many Americans are afraid of. As technology such as AI facial recognition and high-def cameras increase in quality, this is a challenge we are going to have to wrestle with to ensure the very tech that can help keep us safe also doesn't grow too powerful to infringe upon our freedoms. What are the different penalties for if you got caught doing what we were doing?
Jail time. I'm running red lights. I'm doing more than triple the speed limit, double the speed.
Okay, but he's doing this in a Lambo truck. How? It's not even a low-key car involved right now. Like, we're talking about a Lambo truck. I get it. They may have a lot of them in New York. But, come on, bro. What are the odds of him to continue on like this?
Limits. This is a lot of tickets to him.
You did a video in Times Square
The
recently.
orange
right?
interior.
I send it back for all my insecurities. Maybe like some work will probably clean it back. Maybe make the times is landlocked with these
I see. It looks like he knows the roads that aren't in high traffic areas.
Permanently change or destroy somebody's life.
I do understand that. It's just like we were
How's he
also, like,
creating
there was a lot of
space?
people. 12 o'clock in the morning. You seen in the video, like I stopped, looked around, made sure there was nobody, and started doing donuts. And then when I was running the red lights, I'm not gonna lie, I was low key bugging. I low key know how to run red lights. I've been chased by Mac cops to the point where I could blow the red lights doing 60, 70. No, I'm not gonna get hit.
What is your strategy in getting away?
Blowing red lights get you
Hopping on the
T-bone.
highway. These cops, like, they're not really built for that. It's a lot of real rookie cops now. It's a bunch of rookie cops, and these guys do not know how to drive on the highway.
Let's talk about how drivers like Ben's can evade detection for so long. They do so by altering or covering up their license plates so the car cannot be tracked by police or the traffic cameras. Cars with this modification have been nicknamed ghost cars. Last month, a joint task force was launched between New York Governors Kathy Hochul, New York Mayor Eric Adams, the NYPD, and the MTA to crack down on the issue of ghost cars. In their first day alone, they impounded 73 cars, issued 282 court summons, and made 8 arrests. And I noticed the same thing back home in Milwaukee. The guys running through the red lights, driving the stolen cars, and driving aggressively, most of them do not have license plates. What's the longest police chase you've been
That's
in?
obvious.
That's a pretty long chase. How many guys do you think were chasing you at one
I
time?
had to do like 3, 4, but the main thing was the helicopter.
You said 3-4 in a helicopter. My boy has 5 stars at all times.
I was in the Porsche, and that shit does 210 miles an hour. So I just hopped in the highway, you know what I mean? The helicopter can only go so fast.
You go faster than the helicopter?
Yeah, they only like top out like 150, 140.
You crash into somebody, they get paralyzed.
How do
they
we
die,
know
you
the
get
top
preserved
off
for their
time
Yeah,
on?
obviously, I wouldn't want to be put into prison for life. If I kill somebody, that's somebody's life. Like, that's somebody's mother, brother, cousin, whatever the case is. If somebody crashed into my mom in her car and they killed her, I want them to go to jail. You know what I mean? Maybe not for life, but just enough to get it in their head, like, you know?
What makes taking these risks?
So he understands the risk.
They're not really risk to me, that's the thing. I don't really see them as risk. I see them as, like, you know, me just everyday driving.
You say you've been driving since you were 9 years old?
My dad, he used to give me his car. You know, I used to sit on his lap when I was like 7. He used to give me the steering wheel, that. And then, you know, when I hit 9, he used to send me over to AutoZone real quick. I used to go to AutoZone, Home Depot, whatever the cases. At 13, I used to start picking up my boys, and that's when I started really, like, you know, cutting up.
Oh my fuck. Okay, easy, Tiger. Easy. Come on. Hey.
That boy getting whiplash.
No more.
Boy Tommy G getting whiplash now.
Made me
Imagine me doing that.
And 100?
Yeah, that's really nothing.
How many police chases do you think you've been in?
More in my hand. There's been so many times where like the boys just get behind us and they start chasing. But like it's not really chases to us. You know, they back up.
Do you think you're the most wanted driver in New York?
Between me and Where's 981, like Where's 981, Monkey died down. I feel like I've taken over that spot. So yeah.
I'm sure there are a lot of young men that watch your content. What do you think about kids that want to go try and replicate this, copy this?
From Squeeze Benz himself, do not come try this.
This is something that you could get paralyzed, you could die. I don't drive like this, you shouldn't. Some people in this game take lots of risks, and Squeeze is one of those guys, but highly advise never to do this. How sophisticated is the camera system in New York?
It's getting more sophisticated now to where, like, you know, it'll take them probably 2-3 days to really find where he was at, you know what I mean?
How do you stash your vehicle so that the police don't trace you to your house?
I pay for a garage, I have other parking garages where I park my car.
So just like a drug dealer has trap houses, you have different...
I have trap houses, yeah.
Miguel, are you nervous at all?
I'm fucking nervous.
The boys are right here.
I'll get him to go out on us, get out the truck.
Bro, you know, he was about to get out of his vehicle and you were just about to smash him as he opened up the door.
Oh, it's okay. Nah, chill.
Run Windows on Mac and open a world with no limits. From work to create.
Why do you think this is something that young men gravitate towards? Let's talk about brain development in young men. The male brain does not fully mature until about 25, so their prefrontal cortex that assesses risk is not fully developed yet, which helps to explain the risky behavior we see in this segment of the population. There's a name for this, young male syndrome. This sometimes short-sighted behavior is hypothesized to have provided an evolutionary advantage. A 2001 University of Liverpool study found that females prefer brave males who take risks to the ones that do not. And if we go back thousands of years to being hunter-gatherers on the savannah, this preference makes sense, as a female would want the male that fends off the lion or stands to fight when another rival tribe approaches. Biologically, not much has changed in our brains then, but our technology has progressed much further, and it helps to explain why you see young men doing high-speed chases and drifting through Times Square. What's the craziest
Not using their mind.
story you have?
But I'll be the one with the helicopter. I pulled up on the highway showing the truck. He was about to pull someone over. So I got behind him. I started playing with him. And I was recording. I got away, obviously. A week later, I started getting chased by 2-3 black Chargers. I'm looking up. I see the helicopter above me. And I'm like, oh no. It was only like my second ever helicopter chase, so my heart was bumping. I'm not knowing how hard these guys are going to go for me right now. They're going to set a roadblock up, something, you know what I mean? But thank God that wasn't the case.
Like a spike strip.
That's never happened to me. I don't need to give these niggas advice, but like, I don't know why don't use spike strips.
Is it hard for you not to be going fast right now?
Honestly, yeah. If New York really wanted to step their game up, they should put a place where people can use and have fun in a safe environment. If you give us a spot, we're going to use it.
How long do you see yourself doing this for?
This is not going to be a forever thing. Eventually, it's going to turn into a brand.
How often do you drive reckless?
It's every day, but to a limit.
Let's talk about reckless driving in the United States. In 2021, there were 6 million car crashes and 39,500 of them were fatal. A survey by the insurance company Nationwide found that 47% of Gen Z reported driving faster than the speed limit, and 34% of them reported video chatting while driving. Actions like this help contribute to car crashes being the leading cause of death for American teenagers. Another concerning fact is the amount of pedestrians killed by reckless driving. In 2022, there were 7,500 deaths in this manner. In New York, vehicular manslaughter is a felony that carries a steep sentence of up to 15 years. We took 2 Polaroids, they're fresh off the press, still developing. We're gonna put them in 2 random people that buy merch in the next 48 hours. 2 people will get Squeeze Benz, Tommy G, Polaroid photos, RIP Mainstream Media, Big Dog's Gotta Eat. Hope to send this to you. Available on Patreon only are the wild and extended cut versions of the interviews with Squeeze Benz, including one right after he got finished with a helicopter chase, extended cut interview with Swim Team, and more.
So they went on a helicopter chase.
We find ourselves in another parking garage meeting with New York driver Where's 981 and his crew, the Swim Team. Swimming refers to the driving technique where they cut up, weaving in and out of traffic to get where they want to go. They've gained a lot of notoriety online, and I wanted to talk to them to learn more about them.
The faster you go and the more dangerous you drive, the more views you get.
Alright guys, we're pulling up to meet the Swim Team. They're one of the groups of the drivers. Why do you guys call yourself Swim Team?
This is how it started. Like, they call me float. It used to be called float apostle. So, like, I guess it's like a teacher. I would teach you how to float. And then it just turned into, like, we started cutting up and stuff. It was almost like we were swimming through traffic. And they'll call me, like, Michael Phelps. So, we're swimmers.
How fast do you go sometimes?
I'll hit 150 every day. It's easy to hit
150
150.
every day is crazy.
No matter what. You're 50, 60 miles an hour is my 100.
Have you had any near misses?
Yeah, of course. People come to me like, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? I'm not going to try and teach you how to do it because of the simple fact that someone can get hurt. Thank you that I have not hurt anybody. It's like shooting a gun in an open field. Like, anybody can get hit with a straight bullet.
If you hit somebody and they get really injured or die, what should be the punishment, you think?
I'm going to jail 1,000%.
Yeah, it's worth it. Why?
It's not worth it. That's the thing. I can't justify.
Right, y'all not even getting
What's
paid
it like
off
being
of
in
it.
a
Like,
high-speed chase?
I mean, what was the purpose of this?
It
Risk
feels
everybody
crazy, bro.
for adrenaline.
Like, you're scared to go home some way, somehow. You make it home. You have a little bit of tough night of sleep that first night. And then you make it to the second night, you make it to the next night, they never come. After that, you get numb to it,
What are the laws in New York for chasing people? Because I know in Milwaukee, oftentimes they don't chase you at a certain speed because they know it results in civilian deaths a lot of times when the chase happens.
It depends on the cop, honestly. I've seen cops where one of my boys, this dude is going off-road in New York.
That looks
and
wild.
the cops following him
On the
off
grass,
road. It just takes that
tunnel,
that one cop that's just ready to be
around the pole.
And it's over.
What does your mom think about this?
I bring my mom to work. She's going 150 today. She didn't get scared. In her eyes, she knows I'm a good driver. Like, she got mother's prayers, of course. She's gonna always pray for me, make sure everything works out every single time, but she's not too stressed.
You created Swim, right?
I wouldn't say
It's kind of wild. It don't even be an emergency. They just out here wilding.
Right? Swimming, and then we're like, why does that sound kind of nice?
So I'm here with,
Reaper FedEx 350. Where's my A1? Float.
and I'm Tommy G, allegedly. Who out of this group is the high-speed specialist?
This nigga right here is like nasty on the truck. This nigga right here is just nasty on the road. You can slide, drift, go fast.
What's the fastest you guys have ever gone in a car before? 170?
183. I'm 192.
That's life or death speed. What makes it worth it for you to put yourself in that position
One
where you
mistake
can go
and
to
it's
the
over.
afterlife if you're not careful?
Rush, man. You're in a rush. I'm not driving my car, but I just drive it to have fun, bro. If I die, I die. I'm not living life like I want to die for me. I'm not trying to go outside and die, obviously. I never, like,
That's
got
sad,
in a car and
man.
went that fast off rip. It's kind of like I got used to it slowly, building up like a tolerance to speed. If you're watching this and you're a driver, then you know what I mean when you feel the rear wheels through the seat of the car. And
You're super intuitive in touch. It's almost like the car is an extension of your body.
you have senses from the seat, the steering wheel, the audio cues, how loud the engine is, if your tires are squealing. You have so many cues in it, and it's really up to you to take all that sensory input and be able to, like, drive properly. It's like, we're not trying to do this shit forever. Like, we genuinely want to hop on the track, just go crazy. It's just a track right now. It's expensive, and people are shutting the tracks down.
Do you guys know anyone that has crashed or died or gotten injured doing this?
That's for sure, but nobody that's really shot. Yeah, no one ever passed away. If anybody were to seriously get hurt or crash or anything like that, I think it'll end it for everybody. I think we'd all stop.
There's a risk of hurting someone that's completely innocent. One could be on their way to work. Someone could be going to pick up their kid from soccer.
That's wild. It's not even an emergency
How does that
situation.
factor
They're
into
just out here
and what you think about when you
speeding for fun.
If I get left, I get stuck. I get stuck.
What does that mean when you get left?
If I'm following with 91 and I'm following a fluke and they think it's I can't take, I'm not taking it. We swim for each other. We drive for each other. We don't drive for ourselves.
Oh, they call it swimming.
Exactly how each one of them drives.
That must be an up north term.
So God forbid someone has to hard brake. The cars behind are already braking and looking for openings so we're not rear-ending each other.
Have you guys had any near misses?
Of course. But there's this one time where he took a cut. Right after he took the cut, it was either I fit the cut or I'm gone. It's funny saying this, but we're not criminals. We have real life jobs. We have insurance on our cars. We pay for our cars. Like, people think, oh, it's daddy's money. Like, yeah, that's the that should be pissing me off, bro, because I've done work hard as for this shit, bro.
Yeah, because most people who work hard for their stuff doesn't want to risk crashing their whip. You know what I mean? Like, that's not normal to want to crash your whip out or even put it at risk of getting damaged or anything of that nature. So, of course, it's assumed that, like, why would you want to do that? If you work so hard to get your bread, to get your whip, Why would you want to risk it like that for no reason? Or go to the track.
And she tells me every day to stop, and I tell her, look, I'm trying. We have a brand swim team, right? We're not trying to cut up reckless 24/7, bro. Like, we got a 5-9 service coming up, a 7-person service coming up, and honestly, like, we see the community, we see the love you guys are giving us, and we're not gonna take this and just, throw it all away. It's like one of those stories we're trying to create where the bad guy kind of wins.
What do you say to the people that are like super pissed when they see what you do? They're like, that's reckless, it's selfish, it's dangerous, people could die. What do you say to those type of folks?
Honestly, bro, I agree with them, bro. I don't
They're right. That's crazy.
Like,
honestly, bro, they're right.
And they see like us cutting up and like racing through traffic, going on a bunch of dumb stuff. They see it as not precise. Like they're thinking like we're just out there and we're trying to crash. We're not trying to crash. If anything, I would argue that when we're on the road, we're actually paying attention to the road more than to anyone else on the road. Or another thing is drinking and driving. And like, we don't ever be under the influence ever behind the wheel. And I'm proud to say that.
Tell me what's going through your head in the police chase. How do you get away? What are you thinking about? Are you trying to go a few streets and take an exit? You got a hideout? Like, how do you evade police in this type of situation?
Hold on, don't give out too much sauce.
There's people that might watch what you do and wonder how the police have not
Not
caught
giving
you
a drop
yet.
on that
What is your
sauce.
answer?
I mean, truly, the way that we don't get caught is to stop being dickheads. New York has a don't chase policy. I can say this because I've been in at least in swim at least, during to the most cop chases, right? I'm not saying that because I like that. I got the worst luck, bro, over there, honestly. I just got the worst luck of it.
I wanted to know what the legal perspective was on what Swim Team, Squeeze Benz, and all these other New York drivers were doing. What were the legal ramifications? How much jail time could they face? And why is it that they were so brazen about continually doing this? I talked to my guy Nate the lawyer to figure out more about this. He's a lawyer that runs a YouTube channel and breaks things down regularly. This is what he had to say.
My name is Nate the lawyer. I'm a former prosecutor and a former law school professor. And what you've just seen on screen is known as reckless driving. In the state of New York, you can serve up to a year in prison if you recklessly drive. Reckless driving in New York is simple.
8 Sleep Pod Cover. It's a liquid-cooled mattress topper that's clinically proven to give you better sleep. So let me tell you why.
It's if you drive in a manner that, quote, unreasonably interferes with the free and proper use of the public highways or unreasonably endangers users of the public highway. Reckless driving is prohibited. Every person violating this provision shall be guilty of a misdemeanor, meaning you can serve up to a year in jail. If someone is injured or killed during the act of reckless driving, you could find yourself facing some serious charges.
Dangerous and disturbing exclusive video of young people driving their cars recklessly just before one of the cars crashed and killed 2 people.
Now, this driver was charged with manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. He's facing up to 10 years in prison. If you are doing something that you know is inherently dangerous and could get someone killed or hurt, and then you do it anyway, that the law finds to be reckless and criminal in some cases. Driving a car 90 miles an hour in a 50 mile an hour zone is reckless. Someone could get hurt, someone could get killed, and if someone does, then you are on the hook for that homicide. There may be no fear of repercussions because of New York's bail reform laws. The misdemeanor of reckless driving, as you see on the screen, isn't eligible for bail. If someone commits this crime 10 times in the same day, they'll get bail every time because of New York's bail reform laws. Now, some of you may not believe how insane New York's bail reform laws are, but they are insane. Like this guy who was arrested 101 times for shoplifting and let go every time because of New York's bail reform.
101.
Or this guy who was arrested for 3 assaults in one day, even threw a brick through a store window. He was released every single time on bail reform. Or the story of these 4 people who chopped up 2 bodies, left body parts all around the state of New York, and then when the cops went to their home, they found blood, body parts, guts, everything in their home. Guess what the judge did? He released them without bail. When you put everything together, I think these guys are doing it because they don't really have any fear that they're going to kill anybody. And if they get caught reckless driving, they'll get arrested and charged, but they'll probably be let out the same day on bail reform. Then we can go out and do it again. If you need legal advice, if you're looking to this YouTube video to help you in your case, you're looking at the wrong place. With that being said, I'm Nate the lawyer, and I'm out. Peace.
After hearing what Nate the lawyer said, hearing that there's no consequences really for what these guys are doing, it makes sense why they're doing it. Back to the swim team. How often do you guys get nervous doing this?
I know he didn't say it makes sense why they're doing it. I mean, yeah, I guess it does. If you're going to commit to something, they're going to let you out on bail reform. You don't care about life, I guess.
because I was getting singled out for no reason. The speed limit is 50, right? So I would be on the Bell Parkway and I'm going 70, 75. I'm doing the same speed everyone else is going at. However, when the state...
So he's upset that he was going 75 in the 50. That's 25 miles over the limit, bro. Even if everybody's doing it, you ain't just singled out. They could get anybody. Like, y'all over the limit.
Everyone else and me, they singled me out because I'm in a white Porsche. So then they think I can afford the ticket, but... Like, in the beginning,
and you're also going 25 miles over.
And if you're going to say, oh, then just don't speed, I wasn't speeding. I was just keeping up with the flow of traffic, right? And then I just started running one day because I just couldn't afford the tickets anymore.
So you can't afford the tickets, you can't afford to stop, but yet you continue to speed because you weren't speeding because you were going with the flow of traffic. No, that's still speeding, bro. In a Porsche. So imagine driving a Porsche but can't afford the ticket. I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about all of this.
How many people were after you? 15 cars? Do you guys have to get away from helicopters before?
I never had to. Thanks God, honestly, but I feel like I know it's a good
Has the news reached out to any of you guys?
Oh, yeah, of course. Bro, I ain't going for it. This is crazy. I don't like AB7. I don't like AB7 News at all. Because they reached out to me about my contact, and they still posted after I said no. I don't like that. But yeah, this man news article about us already.
So news reporters have reached out to you guys. They DM you, they text you, they email you. Okay, so Ali Bauman from CBS New York.
What they saying? What they saying, man? We're gonna get to the bottom of this.
Okay, so Ali Bauman from
We're gonna find out if the news station is chasing clout.
CBS New York.
Hi, I'm a reporter with CBS New York. Man, we have permission to, it looks like it says, to air some of your videos with credit to you. Okay. That's one. So they want to air the video, trying to get clout. Okay. Good morning. I'm honored with the offer, but I would have to humbly decline. Bro, what is going on?
I was like, no.
Hi, I'm a reporter with CBS New York. And we had a permission to air some of your videos. Okay, they said the same thing. Hi, I'm a reporter with CBS New York. We've been covering stories about swimming and influencer drivers like yourself. Okay. I have a lot of questions about the scene and love to chat with you. What, the record? What, off the record? I don't know. Would you be available, I'm assuming, for a phone call? That's crazy. So the reporters are reaching out for clout for the drivers that are swimming through traffic and becoming driver influencers as well, trying to get them on the news. I don't know if it's a setup.
What made you say no to her and yes to me?
Honestly, bro, you're not a cop. Yeah, you're not a cop. You're not associated with the lawyer.
But the news reporter's not a cop either.
You have an ulterior motive. I genuinely feel like you're not going to try to paint a draft picture with it. And we've seen your videos, we've seen the work you do, and the type of, honestly, you interview people that do worse stuff than us. Yeah, and so it's like, come on now, if you were keeping them safe, there's no reason why you wouldn't keep us safe, bro.
To me, it feels really fun to have no journalistic background and to be beating them at their own game.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, bro, when you're an authentic person, you go far in life, bro.
I feel like people in our generation just don't trust the news. They've lied so many times that their credit's gone.
The news is a little wild, but they're probably going to report on this too.
Pull over, take the tracker out the whip. Range Rover Sport, I'm on the jacket doing tricks. Keep swimming.
It sounds like a California track.
Let's meet the swim team and let's hear their specialties.
Float, swim team, you already know.
And what's your specialty?
My specialty is floating.
They got the merch and everything, man.
Everything.
Do you feel like you have to look over your shoulder?
Now I know, because I didn't know swimming was that, like swerving in and out of traffic, that type of thing. We just call it swerve.
My specialty is like, I do a little bit of everything.
Swim must be a new term. Maybe I'm wrong.
You know, the corporate side of things, you know, the brand and stuff, like, I'm basically like the brain behind that whole...
Wait, so you're trying to turn this into a video game?
I mean, we already kind of did.
So he's a
It's
swim
game,
captain.
So it's called Assetto Corsa. So basically, we host servers, and you just gotta take the link, hop on the server, and if any one of us happens to play on the server, you get to drive with swim risk-free.
Whereas 981 and his team are well aware that a lot of his fans are young males that might try and replicate what they do, and knowing that that is incredibly dangerous, his team has done something so you can join them in the safety of your home. They built this online Assetto Corsa server so you can drive, swerve,
that's so
drift,
wild.
whatever you want. All you need is a computer, internet connection, and it's recommended
Bounce,
you have a
drift,
steering wheel.
roller
Details to
skate.
join the server are in my description.
Do you think you're wanted by law?
They created their own GTA server, man. Y'all can swim, swerve, whatever you want. GTA, man. Keep it online, risk free, man.
I just don't want the ticket.
What do you?
Imagine just getting the same thrill through virtual reality or video game of the such. That way you're able to go as fast as you want, crash as much as you want. No one's at risk. Your life isn't at risk. Your license isn't at risk. Your freedom isn't at risk. Come on, use your head, people.
You go back.
Brick 250 or Brick 50, either one is hard.
This game,
Pull up to
you're not ready
what?
for it.
EV Online. Swerve in the sky, spaceship type thing.
What's your specialty?
Well, right
Suck a
now, I
PC.
think the fans would probably say my specialty
Suck,
is
man.
like police chases, cop chases, and stuff like that. But in my opinion, I think drifting though.
How many police chases do you think you've been in?
Honestly, bro, I lost count probably because I posted at least 30, I think. So I think I have.
You have at least 30 police chases on the internet right now.
Yeah.
Why is this worth potentially going to prison?
No matter how you look at it, it's not worth it at all. Me being how I am as a person, bro, it's fun, bro.
Who are you?
I'm Reaper.
What's your specialty?
I'm more of a low-key swimmer. I'm not really making videos and stuff, but you know, if you know, you know.
Do you have any little brothers?
Oh yeah.
If they wanted to get into this, what would you tell them?
I'm a hypocrite, but what do I recommend this for?
You don't recommend it.
At least he knows he's a
This is question for the
hypocrite.
whole group. How often do you guys have to change vehicles?
I say if you do it right, you could probably go a year to 2 years where you have to swap the car if you're smart, but you can do some dumb shit in one night that makes you have to swap.
What do you go by?
My name's Billy.
And what's your specialty?
Honestly, the fans kind of know me as Lester, I guess I would say. That's, if you get in trouble, you can call me. I'll help you with your situation.
So what makes this worth doing?
It's not worth doing. I wouldn't recommend doing it if I were you, but I can't make your decisions for you. So if you are going to do this against our best wishes, I guess, just think about other people on the road and do whatever you can to bring it home without hurting yourself, hurting anybody else, or damaging any property.
Tell me how you think about taking on risks and danger.
I think if you're ever going to take on any risks or any danger, whether it's physical risks or financial risks, I think you should write down every single one of the variables that could be a factor in the risk that you're taking, and you should figure out what's the worst case scenario that could go wrong, any other kind of scenarios that could go wrong, and you want to figure out what the best case scenario is, and if that's worth the gamble for you, for the risks that are laid out on the table. But if those risks are worth the reward that you're going for, I think you should go for it. And if at any time you get too scared, the risks are too much for the reward, you don't want to risk it for the biscuit, then stop, because you're not go for it.
If you want an extraordinary life, you have to take extraordinary measures and risks in action, but know your lane and know when to sit out. And this is something I'm sitting out for.
Also, the story of Icarus, when you have black wings and you fly too close to the sun, never feel like you got it on lock 24/7.
The story of Icarus comes from Greek mythology, and it recounts the tale of Daedalus and his son Icarus, who were imprisoned on the island of Crete by King Minos. To escape, Daedalus fashioned wings made of feathers and wax for him and Icarus. Warned by his father not to fly too close to the sun, Icarus disregarded this advice. As he soared higher and higher, the wax melted, causing his wings to fail, and he plummeted into the sea and drowned. This story serves as a cautionary tale warning against the dangers of overconfidence and recklessness. And this story, I think, is very relevant to Mr. Squeeze Benz.
My son Stolen couldn't make it, but he wanted to say what's up to y'all, feel me?
Anything you gotta say for the camera, brother?
Shout out my son Jolly too, he couldn't make it. Yeah, so you asked us these questions. What do you think of swimming?
So here's the thing. I think danger is good in somebody's life, but when you endanger someone else while you're having your own fun, that's where I'm iffy about it. Yeah. I admire the courage, I admire the bravery, but when other people's lives are at risk, to me it's like it's a hard battle. You know what I mean? Like, if I lost a friend because someone was just having fun on the road, I'd want to kill that guy. I also, as a young man who does dangerous things too, get it. But I highly advise you, don't try it out.
guys here to do B-roll of their cool cars. But while waiting their turn, a couple of them decided to do donuts in a parking lot where there were many families. Because of this, the police were called, and in a few minutes, an NYPD helicopter arrived on the scene. This is what happened next.
You got a dip in the second. You see that, right?
Hello, folks. I'm Tommy G. Here at the Most Wanted Drivers in New York.
wild.
They're peeling out.
Helicopters, all that.
Folks, I wasn't lying when I said these guys are wanted. Well, folks, I think it's time we get out of here.
No longevity in it,
Stay
guys.
safe. Realize that the choices you make can impact other people. There's dangerous things you can do that just impact yourself. When it impacts scared civilians, we should probably get out of here. Let's go. I'm conflicted with this video, folks, because
What's the
a lot of
conflict?
young people are going to think this is cool, and their brain is not developed enough to realize the risk to other people. And I feel like you gotta pick and choose your battles. And like, while it is exciting, statistically, eventually, someone is gonna crash, someone's gonna die, someone's
Yep.
gonna get paralyzed, and the game
Can't swim
that
forever.
sounded so fun is not so fun anymore.
From Cowboys to
That's a
scale
fact, man. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, man. We're gonna keep these reactions coming, bro. Let's go.